published 1955 Eastern Standard Time, the 23rd of February 2018, updated 5:49 Eastern Standard Time, the 24th of February 2018. Only 4 years ago, teenage Oleksandr Zinchenko and his family fled war-torn eastern Ukraine for a new life in Russia. Much has happened in Zinchenko's life since then. An 18-month enforced break from football, a fabulous opportunity to join Manchester City, and a loan move to Holland with PSV Eindhoven that brought its fair share of cultural differences, including nude saunas. On Sunday, the 21-year-old Ukraine international is set to play in the Carabao Cup final against Arsenal at Wembley just 4 months after making his debut for Pep Guardiola's side. 4 years ago, Oleksandr Zinchenko and his family fled war-torn eastern Ukraine. Benjamin Mendy's knee injury and Fabian Delph's suspension mean that Zinchenko is favourite to start at left-back on what would be only his 10th appearance for the club. It is not a scenario he could ever have envisaged when he left Ukraine and a youth academy at Shakhtar Don. At the onset of pro-Russian unrest in 2014, it was a very dangerous situation in Ukraine, recalls Zinchenko. That's why my parents moved and took me with them. We went to Moscow and a few days later they started to fight. The last 4 months of his time at Shakhtar had been overshadowed by a contract dispute with the club. I just ran around the pitch for every training session. I didn't play. I was exiled on my own. Another 5 months were spent without a team, training every day by myself on the street in Moscow. Zinchenko thought he was back in business when his manager Anatoly Patok lined up a move to Rubin Kazan and he went on the club's pre-season trip to Italy. But complications with his existing contract at Shakhtar meant that he still couldn't play. I was there for 4 months without anything, just training. Eventually, Zinchenko secured a move to Russian club Ufa, where he launched his professional career in 2015. Ufa called my manager and gave me a contract directly, he says. To be honest, I was very happy in that moment because I had not played for 1.5 years. Zinchenko spent just 14 months at Ufa before City signed him in a £1.7 million deal after seeing him play all 3 games for Ukraine at Euro 2016. The 21-year-old is expected to play for Manchester City in Carabao Cup final on Sunday. Had broken Andriy Shevchenko's record by becoming the youngest player to score for his national team in a pre-tournament friendly against Romania. Ukraine coach and former Chelsea star Shevchenko had some important words of advice for the youngster. First of all, what he told me was that I had to be strong in my mind because here everyone is a superstar, so you cannot give up, recalls Zinchenko. You have to fight every single day, every single training session. The English Premier League is the #1 league in the world, and don't forget, Manchester City, in my opinion, are now the #1 team in the world. That's what he told me. I was following his career because he was my idol, as he was for everyone in Ukraine. He won the Ballon d'Or when he played for AC Milan. He is a living legend. Zinchenko was sent straight out on loan by City to PSV Eindhoven, where his education was not limited to what he saw on the football field. He is favourite to start as left-backs. Benjamin Mendy is out and Fabian Delph, suspended last year, was the most difficult adaptation because Ukrainians and Russians have a different mentality to European guys, he admits. We see some situations differently. In Holland, everyone can sauna together, both women and men, and everyone is naked. For us, it's very, very strange. In Ukraine and Russia, that's not possible. Nobody understands it when I'm talking about this place in Ukraine and Russia. It's strange when you see the son, maybe 7 years old, his mum, his grandmother, grandfather, all together naked. Come on now, I'm learning every day. I'm used to it. I can be like an English guy or Dutch guy. A lot of people told me I look like I'm from Holland or Sweden. Guardiola saw enough progress from Zinchenko to bring him back into the senior squad at City. Mendy's unfortunate cruciate ligament injury in September, just 5 games after a £52 million move from Monaco, brought the Ukrainian a step closer to the first team as backup for Fabian Delph at left-back. Delph has suffered from injuries of his own, and his red card against Wigan on Monday night when City were handed a shock 1-0 defeat in the 5th round of the FA Cup means Zinchenko is set to start against Arsenal on Sunday. The left-back would make his 10th appearance for the club since joining for £1.70 million. I don't know for sure, but I'm ready to play, he says. I don't like it when people talk about my age. I'm 21. When Ronaldo from Brazil was 20, he was already one of the best players in Europe. Pelé, for example, was 17 when he won the World Cup the first time. There are a lot of examples, so I don't like it when somebody says, he's too young, but don't worry, everything is in the future. At 21, you already have to show your quality. The Wigan defeat wrecked City's hopes of an historic quadruple and has put pressure on the Premier League leaders to make sure they do not lose in both cup competitions in the space of 6 days. Zinchenko, for one, is determined to get the first trophy of the season in the bag. I hope so, because we can talk about City being the best team in the world, but we have to talk on the pitch in every single game, he says. We need to win trophies to back up that claim. Ukraine international Zinchenko gets mistaken by City fans for teammate Kevin De Bruyne.